We're back.
We are back. You know what I love about this show is we talked for 8 seconds before we hit record. That's it. That's the whole prep. I hope we're ready because there's zero prep.
It's funny that my takeaway from us doing this show is let me build a very elaborate and in-depth podcast planning tool.
Yeah, I know. Perhaps if we talked for 5 minutes before the show, we wouldn't need the tool. But hey, you know what? We'll have a tool. We need a tool.
No, I think it's funny because we don't even need a tool. We talk for 8 seconds. Maybe everybody just talks for 8 seconds
true.
And nobody needs a tool.
That is
what I'm
true.
saying, potentially.
But you know what? We're still in the potential state because the tool has not been released. So we have no idea if anyone needs the tool.
I could just make any graphs I want. Just up to the right, baby. Vertical, the number of users off the charts. That's what's going to happen. Unbelievable.
Yep.
That's my plan.
All right. We should start there. I don't know. There's something on the agenda about you doing some programming. I don't know if that's related to outro or something else. All right. Let's start there. Give us a little rundown.
Hold on. I got a gadget.
Oh, we love a gadget. You're starting with a gadget. I want to see a gadget.
I got a gadget. I want to show it first.
Okay. Unbelievable. All right, for the listener, you made the right choice to do audio only today. For the audio only fans, this is a silly car dealership inflatable guy that does the silly arms, the tube guy that bounces around as a desk ornament. That is very loud. There's no way you leave that on your desk. But it is a red inflatable silly guy that you would see at a car dealership. And Ian, for some reason, has one on his desk, and I guarantee you that was bought with corporate money and is a write-off. You know what? I'm not justifying it. The IRS is closed, so it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Everything's a write-off now.
Let me tell you, if I was going to buy it with corporate money, it would have been a huge one, a full-size one, back here, just flap it all around.
Because it came out of the household budget. It's just a little guy.
So it was a gift, a birthday gift. My birthday's coming up from my oldest kid's girlfriend. Who spent the weekend with us. We're at the girlfriend spends the weekend phase of life here.
Oldest kid's girlfriend bought you a birthday gift.
Yeah.
She knows what's up. She's with it. She's very mature.
She's attuned apparently because she's like Tube Guy. He'll like this. Boom. Yep. I love Tube Guy.
And you love Tube Guy. There couldn't have been a better gift.
There's really not a better gift, right? That's the best gift.
Wow.
Thank you to her. She ends up listening to this. And
kids these days. How old is the oldest kid, and how old approximately is this oldest kid girlfriend?
The oldest kid is 19 and
so girlfriend's somewhere around there.
19 and a half. So girlfriend's 18, I think.
19. And they know, hey,
he's a little quirky.
Dad, a little bit of a goober, got a birthday coming up. I should get him something nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Props to the girlfriend.
Liliana, thank you, yes.
Good job.
Think about you're going to get here someday. This is a little preview. This is the good side. I'm always talking about how rough it is for you right now and all that stuff. This is the other side of that. People bringing you presents.
You reach a point where the kids' significant others buy you presents. That does sound nice. It's worth it. It's all worth it at that point. Yeah. For a $12 desk tube guy. Yeah. That's perfect.
It all pays off. All this hardship right now, it's all going to pay off. Don't even worry about it.
That is a very good gift, I'll be honest.
It is.
Like, that is very, very Ian coded.
Yes, because what are you going to get me? I'm a hard guy to buy for, Yep. I just buy the stuff I want, right? Like when I want something, I just buy it, right? So that's it. So you gotta get inventive. You gotta get creative. That's a creative gift.
When I know this, of course, but for the listener, when is the birthday?
October 24th.
October 24th. Wow, that's coming up soon.
And I will hopefully be right here, Milwaukee Brewers. I will hopefully be at the World Series because the plan is to go to the World Series if they make it to the World Series. And just the other day, they won the first round of the playoffs they were in. They have one more round to go. Then we go to the World Series.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yes.
So they could
sports ball.
That doesn't sound like very long to have another round of playoffs. Would you be at the World Series on your birthday in 11 days?
Yeah.
Wow, they moved through them quick. I thought there were
Well,
isn't it like a 7-game series potentially?
well, they skipped since they were the #1 record in all baseball. They skipped the first round of the playoffs, and then they
Oh, okay,
just
so they got a
played.
bye through the
They got
first
a
round.
bye, yes, and then they played the second round, which was 5 games. Now is how they do it, and they won that one. And
Wait, they
now
limited it's best of 5 now?
it's best of 5. Yeah,
Whoa.
the playoffs have changed a bunch over time. So now it's best of 5. The second round, the first round is best of 3. Second round's best of 5.
Whoa.
This round's best of 7. This is like the National League Championship. Then the World Series is best of 7
So
also.
we're currently in National League Championship.
Yes, that starts
And
tonight.
how far into it are we? Have we started?
Are 0 games. No.
0 games? We're going to do a potential 7 games in 11 days?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like baseball they're used to, though. That's the way baseball goes. Like, that's actually a lot of space between games. Like, normally, they Brewers had a stretch this year where they went 20 days with no break. Not a day off in 20 days.
20 games in 20 days?
Yes. And that's with changing cities every 3 days, flying around the country, blah, blah, flying home, flying out.
This is going to earn me a lot of haters, and I'm prepared for it. If you're doing 20 games in 20 days, you have just tipped your hand that it's a stand-around sport. You can't do 20 games in 20 days if it's like a real exertion sport.
Yeah,
this is a stand-around. Yes. This is a stand-around. Let's make some jokes in the dugout. Let's chew some tobacco. Let's have some fun. 20 games in 20 days is like that. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You could maybe do that in golf, but you can't do that in like soccer, basketball, football.
Well, this is
hockey.
where so that's kind of interesting perspective. I think the thing is like, well, first of all, they baby these players so much now. It makes me I'm very old man yells at cloud on like especially the pitching, and they don't let the pitchers pitch. The guy's pitching a great game, and they pull him out, whatever. I think we've talked about on this before. Very, very angry it makes me. But baseball's take on what you're talking about is actually that the idea of like 20 games in 20 days and like the endurance of the whole season. Like you are playing 162 games.
Good
so
Lord.
like in football, you're playing 17 games. You got a week between each. Yes, you're hitting each other, but there's like space in there. There's no space in baseball. There's no like, imagine all the stuff you give up in your family and your life, right? It's like, I can do nothing for half a year every year. I'm completely unavailable. Like no matter what happens, someone dies, someone's born, there's a big birthday, whatever. I'm not going to almost any of it. Like literally anything else. Like it's very rare. Or like a parental death. Sometimes people take off a couple days for or whatever, but like that's it. Like you don't get days off. And so that's more the endurance of baseball is like every day we're out here entertaining you no matter what. That's kind of the deal.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's the endurance of baseball. It's definitely not in the game so much. It's more that
it's the season is the hard part.
I mean, think about it. Your game ends at 11:30 p.m. or something, 11 p.m. Now you got to get to the airport. You get on a plane. You fly across the country. You get off the plane at 5 in the morning. You go to bed for a few hours. You wake up. You got to go to the stadium and get ready and warm up and play another game. Like it's kind of an exhausting schedule.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. So that's the endurance. But anyway, hopefully I'll be at the World Series in a week and we'll have to figure out what to do with the show. We'll work it out. But
we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll record early or something. But we'll have to make it first. I want to put the cart before the horse. I did get a room just so I have it.
That's pretty carty before pretty horsey there.
I just want to make sure you can cancel it. It costs you nothing. So I figured I'd just have that. Didn't get the airplane tickets yet because like canceling those is always more hassles. That's going to be tricky because there's like no flights to Milwaukee. So we're going to have to go to Chicago.
I definitely know where Milwaukee is.
It's 2 hours north of Chicago, if you know where Chicago is.
Another place I definitely know where it is. Milwaukee Tool
work on your
in Dallas
geography.
on Mockingbird Lane.
No,
I don't want Milwaukee Tool.
We're not going to the Four Seasons
Milwaukee
landscaping.
WI, which is presumably Wisconsin. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's over there. All right. Yeah. You could
It's
get
on
there.
the lake.
It's on the left side of one of these lakes, Lake Michigan. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, all the best to the Brewers.
Adventure. Yeah, hopefully that happens. We'll see. They have a very young team, so it's very interesting. Like they don't have a lot of veterans, a lot of like first-year players, second-year players. So it's very exciting.
That is interesting. Yeah. Anyway.
We gotta get you on the sports,
I just gotta cut this one off with you starting to talk about the makeup of the team, and I got to be honest, you're losing me pretty hard
We're losing
there.
the audience. We're losing
Yeah,
Aaron.
you're losing
Everybody's
me. I don't know. The audience may love it, but when we're talking about the ages of the players, I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
That's beyond my reach.
Oh, man. All right. Well, what's going on? We had a lot of follow-up Vision Quest.
Yes, we did have a lot of follow-up,
chatting
and
with
then
us.
I want to hear. We'll do follow-up, and then I heard that you paired with Caleb Porzio.
I paired.
And I want to hear about this. So developer Ian, business dad is gone. Developer dad is the only one left. But the follow-up from Vision Quest, I have gotten more emails and DMs and public mentions about this than probably anything else we have ever talked about.
Wow.
It is crazy the number of people that have reached out and have been like, man, I'm glad you said that. I've been feeling the exact same way. I just bought a brick to brick my phone. I also just turned off social media. I need to get my attention back. I've lost it completely. It's astounding to me the number of people that are feeling this way, just based on like the random sample of people that listen to this or read my newsletter. But I think it's a epidemic. People,
struck a nerve.
Yeah, people are over. I think people are over being constantly plugged in, constantly enraged. And a big one was feeling like you're missing out, specifically in like the developer space, like feeling like you have to pay super close attention to all of the new everything that is coming out. So a lot of feedback, including from one Jeffrey Way, who's going to be our next Sweet Hang. He's going to be we're going to have a Sweet Hang this week with Jeffrey Way. Because he reached out publicly and said, I really enjoyed this episode. And it's like, whoa, you don't get a lot of replies to the podcast Twitter account, especially from Jeffrey Way. So we must have done something right
Struck
there.
a nerve,
I know. So I'm excited to talk to him. I think we're talking to him tomorrow, and it'll come out on Thursday. So y'all watch your feeds for the next Sweet Hang. But a lot of feedback, very positive, feeling good about that.
Like it really matches your sort of whole vibe in like, this is like, to me, another you can just do things. Like everybody feels overwhelmed. Not everybody, but a lot of people right now feel overwhelmed with the world, things you can't do anything about, social media, the algorithm, work, AI, whatever, all the stuff. There's a lot of different factors, I think, right? And everybody just kind of wallows in it. And you're like, I'm not going to wallow in it. I'm going to just do something about it. And I'm going to go out, and maybe it ends up being the whole solution. Maybe it's not. But if any event, it got you some relief there for a period of time, and hopefully has made a more permanent change in the long term. But like, I feel like that whole the same way that resonates with people. I feel like this is that same type of thing, actually. Like
that's an interesting,
you're gonna get out there and do something about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I did last week. I stuck to the plan.
Okay.
So we recorded on Monday.
Yep.
And the whole week I was bricked until noon. So my phone was blocked, and it was blocked on my computer, and until noon I just like had to work on stuff, and it was great. It was great. I got so much more done. I felt better about it. The afternoons were a mess.
Oh, it really highlights that part of your day.
Oh, dude, the mornings lasted 1,000 years, and the afternoons were a second. It was crazy.
Interesting.
So might have to have some sort of structure in the afternoons as well, because I feel like once the blocks came off, the wheels came off. But hey, we're starting. This was the plan. Start reasonable and ratchet up from there. Don't start unreasonable, as I want to do. So feeling pretty good about it.
I didn't feel like I'm saying this in like a positive sense here. I didn't feel like so I usually at some point before we record just pop over to Twitter and see what you posted in the week. I don't go into like replies or whatever, just like your main whatever you post. And it felt like a similar amount to your normal amount. So I didn't feel like your public persona was hurt in that regard in terms of quantity of posting. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it seemed like a sufficient amount to keep you in the zeitgeist of people, So
totally. I think if I hadn't been publicly talking about pulling back, nobody would have known.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
which, is in itself a lesson there. Maybe you don't have to be on 24/7. Maybe you can be on just a little bit and nobody
Yeah.
freaking cares. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So positive. So you feel like you got a lot of work done then?
Yep. Yep. Definitely do feel good about it. Felt less frantic about everything. It was difficult. I mean, it was
Yeah.
definitely like noon hits and I unblock my phone and sit down on the couch and I'm like, all right, let's look at stuff. But that's the plan. And so I feel
Right.
good. Like that's fine. But yeah, moving forward, there may be like all right, we can do, 12 to 12:30. We just
Right.
indulge and then we got to get back to work until
Lunchtime.
yeah, something like that. So feeling very good. Highly encourage people to give it a shot. Signed up for the Brick affiliate program. Haven't heard
I
anything
was gonna
back yet.
say
I
you
know.
missed the wagon on that a little bit. You should have
Leaving
had
some
that.
pennies on the table there.
Yeah.
But highly recommend checking out the Brick.
What is has the wife noted any difference? Is it make a difference of a notable level at
Yep.
home in the morning?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, interesting.
And Jennifer said the other day, she was like, you know what? I just really noticed how addicted I am to my phone. And I was like, oh man, I know that's you got to be more like me. And she was like, yeah, I'll just pick it up and I don't even have anything to look at. I'll just like check my emails. And I'm like, what emails are you getting? You don't work in an office job. And so I think it has become clear to both of us how addicted we both are to just like filling down moments with any sort of distraction possible.
Yeah, that kind of came up this weekend for us too, because all the what we call the little kids, the younger two, or we're all in the living room, whatever, everybody, and we watch their screen time pretty closely. Not whatever. It could even be tighter, but whatever. It's tighter than a lot of their friends for sure. And but we were talking to my oldest girlfriend, and she was noting how her screen time tells her she does 2.5 hours a week on the phone.
Two and
Yeah,
a half hours a
a
week?
week. So we were like, okay,
She's buying
kids.
presents. She's not looking at her phone. Who is this girl?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
She's transported from the late 1800s or something here. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, so I was like, there you go. You don't have to be, she's a real go-getter, a lot of like a bunch of majors, whatever, all kinds of stuff going on. So yeah, hope for the kids, first of all.
There's
And
definitely hope for the kids. I saw a
yeah.
chart that said social media usage across all demographics except boomers peaked in 2022. So
Oh,
I think,
interesting.
55 and up, it didn't peak, but everybody else, it peaked in 2022 and it's gone down. And I think there is a cultural backlash happening, and I do think it is led by the youth.
Well, there's also this whole other interesting concept with it, which Ben Thompson, the techie guy, talks about this, and some other people, where like social media stopped being social like kind of a long time. I mean, in some ways, like Twitter, Blue Sky are are only kind of what's left in some ways, and even there, like especially Twitter is trying to push you away from that aspect of it. But like on Facebook or whatever, like you don't get your friends and family, right?
Like,
no.
Yeah.
And you don't even have enough. The thing is, like, that's what they all realize, right? Is like your friends aren't interesting enough and they're not going to post enough interesting stuff to keep you coming back, right? So it's like, okay, so you still get a few things from your friends, but now we're just going to give you everything from everywhere, right? Here's random videos and whatever's resonating with people. We're just going to shove that in front of you continuously. And so it's like social media isn't actually even social at all in a lot of cases. And it's more like television, but that's sort of force fed to you, obviously, in a way that traditional television can't be. So, yeah, it's like there's this whole interesting thing of like maybe that's just not as interesting for people who kind of grow up
exactly
with it, right?
It's just
like,
not that interesting.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel about Sora too. It's like it's just not that interesting.
I love Sora. Sora's
like the
totally
only videos I've watched are the ones you've sent me or I've seen in group chats. Like any Sora video that comes across my feed, I'm immediately like, I don't care. I just don't care. I'm not morally opposed to it, or that's not the reason I'm not watching it. But it's just like I'm not gonna watch. I don't want to hear about your made up dream where you're Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not interested. It's just not interesting to me.
So here's the thing I hope they really lean into. I had a little Sora segment plan. Let's just do it now. It's just a minute. I think this is the total genius of Sora, and I hope that they lean into it, which is it's by far the most fun, by far, and it's some of the most fun I've had on the internet since early Twitter, I would say, because the way I only use it is exactly that. It's like I put me in a funny situation or me and some friends, and I share it with those friends or I share it with my family. The kids and I have had like 1,000 laughs, like hysterical
Mm-hmm.
laughing with like me playing golf or me, whatever, doing stupid stuff, right? And it's like how you could just create this little story and it's a funny and everybody thinks it's a just a laugh. And I would love for it to lean into the like your just personal network and just sharing it personally, which it has those
Mm-hmm.
tools, but I think it's not fully realized that way. And they're still like mostly pushing the like the public feed, the like TikTok style feed. And I agree. Like I never go to that feed. I don't think it's particularly interesting. But when it's you in it and it's people who know you watching it, that is funny and interesting. And you could even say you could some of the ones I've sent you, right, are like me sharing an emotion in a different sort
Mm-hmm.
of way about things. And so I feel like there's like storytelling aspects within your circle of people who know enough about you to get it because it's like 10 seconds and
Yep.
you're already in on the half of the joke. And now I just have to deliver the
Yes.
punchline to you, right? So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot there that's very interesting about it. But I do agree, like your random video that's just put
No,
on Twitter or something, like I don't really care about that. I'm never in the
don't care about
Sora
that.
feed scrolling through it. But I'm also never in the TikTok feed scrolling through that, right? It's like I don't care about any of that as much as if you give me interesting things or like Eric Barnes, a prolific Sora user,
Uh,
he's
he's
always sharing
he's
stuff.
using half the Sora credits. They got
Yes.
servers
They
dedicated to
they
Eric
got a
Barnes.
data center called
They
Barnes,
do.
just him.
It's just
So
pre-trained on golf and Eric Barnes's face. That's
and
it.
movie quotes, yeah. So
Yes.
so I think like that stuff's great. So yeah, so I think when it's your friends and family, it's awesome. Now we'll see. I don't know. That's maybe not where all the money is, right? So I don't know if the
I
motivation's going to
will
be
I
there,
will
but
accept I will accept a duality of purpose and the public feed being worthless, but like the group chat use case being valuable. That's fine.
yeah,
I will accept
yeah,
that. That's
okay,
reasonable.
yeah,
Because
that's my take.
those that mirrors my own behavior. Those are the only ones I've
Right,
watched. Is like ones that
right,
have come across in group chats or that like you have sent me.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
So I buy that. That's
Okay,
reasonable.
all right. I'm making the case. I
You're
like
making
it,
the
but
case.
only in that use case. Yeah, the rest of it, I don't know.
Only yes.
We'd seen somebody, Taylor. I won't totally out what he did, but he made a whole like movie from it.
He
Like,
did.
there is interesting use cases out there. I think that people are going to be able to do cool stuff with. I think there, and then I saw the other thing that came up. Sam Altman was interviewed by Ben Thompson, and he said it's like 30% of the users are creating videos. And so that's another huge difference, which I think is overall net positive for society versus you just sitting there and being
Right.
it's like
True.
0.01% create on TikTok, right? And it's like everybody's just there scrolling, like not engaged in reality,
Yep.
not thinking thoughtfully about how their own creativity with it. Whereas like 30% of Sora users are creating. That's amazing. That's like getting people invested, getting people creative, another outlet. I don't know. I think there's some it's more positive than a TikTok or a Facebook feed or those kind of things, at least potentially. So
My
we'll see.
prediction
Mm.
my prediction is it's going to lose its novelty very quickly. I think
Maybe.
I think next week
Mm.
it's gonna have fallen
Okay.
off.
You think it's
Yeah.
gone next week?
I think
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
fall
so.
off. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's first of all, it's different than these like Clubhouse or things like that because they have infinite money. So they could keep iterating and doing stuff and making it
Sure. Yeah.
better and keeping it out there in a way that like you're a startup, you better hope it hits and stays because you don't really have much other choice. So I think they can give it more legs if they feel like it's worth it. But also I don't know. I just think like because you could just see like the next iteration is, hey, now you can make 1 minute videos. Hey, now you can piece these
I
together in
just
multiple scenes.
I
Like,
just
I don't know. I
don't
think it's gonna
think
be interesting.
I think they will continue to iterate on the technology, but I think people aren't going to want to watch 1 minute Sora videos. I think the
I don't
novelty of
know.
the consumption is going to wear off very, very quickly. People have
Maybe.
seen a lot of like, oh, I'm driving a Lambo and talking about PHP. And it's like, I just don't need to see that anymore. I especially don't need to see a minute of that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the minute use case though, right? Like I think the minute use case is something different. Like maybe it's just a new kind of thing. I can make a little movie in 2 minutes. kind of interesting.
Kind of. I don't
Like,
know.
I
We'll
could have
see.
a whole story arc, you know what I mean? Like, I could have characters, and I think especially when they get better at recreating characters, now
Yeah,
I can
that's
create
also a problem.
series, right? Like, now
Yeah.
my little weird guy I make, he can have a whole series of videos, and I love the little weird guy, right? And whatever, all that stuff. So, I don't know, I think there's something there, but we'll see. I do think
Well,
how do they pay for it is tricky. I don't know about that, like, so I don't know.
nobody's even thought about that at
Well,
OpenAI.
yeah. They
They
have the
don't
infinite money,
think
which is
about
useful.
monetization at all. They just
Yeah,
raise another $1 trillion from
right,
the Saudis or from
right.
somewhere, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, great, we're good for another 8 months." That's it. That's all they think about.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just
That's
trying to
possible.
take over the world.
Yeah.
Well, we've reversed roles. I'm the no man. I'm saying it's dead.
Yeah,
It's
look at
over. You're
you.
developing. You're saying yes to things. I'm like, not gonna
Man,
happen.
must be Phase of the Moon or something.
Must be. And you know what? I'm gonna pull another business dad right here and say that this show is brought to you by Flare by
Woo.
Spotsy. All-in-one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. Our friends at Spotsy, longtime members of good standing in the Laravel ecosystem. You can find out more at flareapp.io. And then if you want to go into specifically the performance monitoring, flareapp.io/performance-monitoring, links down below. Thank you to Flare for sponsoring the show. And of course, as always, brought to you by Bento. Bentonow.com, and the ad read says whatever my homepage says, LOL. You know, that's we only give Jesse that privilege of not putting in an ad read. So the
Yeah.
homepage says the email marketing and CRM platform teams actually love. Send your product, marketing, and transactional email with Bento, one app, all of your marketing needs. So you can find out more about Bento, the email service provider, at bentonow.com. Thank you to Jesse at Bento and the team at Spotsy for sponsoring today's show.
All right. So,
Developer Dad.
Ian pairs. This is my
Ian
first
pairs.
like real pairing ever. Look at
I wondered.
Teach an
I
old dog new
wondered.
tricks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've paired with like employees, right, on stuff or like, but even that's mostly like they have an issue, they can't figure it out. Maybe we'll hop on a call and take a look at it. But like, even that I would say is not normally like pairing and what most people mean by that term. So, so me and Caleb paired. It was great because I discovered that Blaze was sort of secretly publicly available, which now I'm outing it. Which Blaze is the new package that Caleb has built, which makes Laravel Blade faster to render, basically. And this
Blaze is a Blade package. Is that right?
Okay, yes, it's an enhancement to the compiler system of Blade, so that it's because if you use Blade in anger, you probably come across the idea that like it can get slow at times if you have thousands and thousands of components loading, and which in many types of apps not an issue, but in like B2B apps is a little bit more of an issue because you'll have like big tables of things, and if you go down the path of like, well, every column and every row and every cell is a component, then you get very quickly
icons in the cells,
and all this stuff. I see. So now you have 4,000 components loading, and each one is like instantiating a class, and each one is like goes through the whole process to be rendered, blah, blah. It's very slow. So he built this Blaze package because it's affecting him, because Flux uses a lot of this nested
Blade components.
Blades, yes. And so you get, well, I'm building these forms and tables and things, and now all of a sudden, my app is slower because I'm using Flux.
And he gets the blowback. Flux is slow, and he's like, Flux is not slow. Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah. Okay. So he built this package. He talked about it, Laracon, whatever. So I installed the package because in Outro, there's a bunch of nested component stuff going on, and it was feeling slowish. And okay, so I figured, well, let me install this. And it didn't really do anything. It didn't make it any faster. Yeah. So I started digging around a little bit. Then I messaged him and we're talking. So I was like, well, let me see what's going on. So we got in there. And basically, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically it's like only certain types of Blade components can be optimized. And if you're passing like dynamic data to the component, can't really be optimized, at least the way things currently work, without more magic. But that limits a lot of the use cases, of course, because like you want to pass dynamic data to components fairly often. So there's some ways to work around some of it, whatever. But out of it, I think came some good ideas, especially internally to Flux. Because the hardest thing is like, okay, well, I could change my stuff to adjust it, but I'm like using Flux for things. And then like if every Flux menu and every Flux button or whatever, like
Right.
can't be optimized, then like I'm just inherently like stuck at a point where like there's 1,000, renders I can't get rid of. So he figured out, I think, some ways to do that. So now like a lot of Flux will be just fully compatible. I think there'll still be one or two things that can't be done, but all the like main stuff I believe he's going to be able to do. So this was cool because like just by seeing it in kind of a real app in real use, I think he got some good ideas out of that. And it was great. Yeah, it was cool. He actually installed Outro. He's the first person to see the Outro outside the Circle of Trust. And he installed on his end so he could, because Caleb's a very fast programmer. I'm very slow. So he's, this way he can move around very quickly on his local machine doing things. And yeah, he came up with several other, I think, interesting ideas for stuff that might come out in the future from it. So yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I think it's sent him off on this whole direction where he's been building a sample Kanban board app.
I heard about that on
is
his
going to be
notes on work or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's going to be his sort of like sample app for the conference, which is Outro as a Kanban board. Which hey, I'd rather have a Caleb created Kanban board than my Kanban board.
I know,
so,
this is a great hack right here.
Yeah, so it's going to be now a fully optimized Caleb optimized Kanban board, hopefully. So that'll be cool. And yeah, it was great. It was fun. It was not something I've done a lot before, as I said. So it was really cool. Get out there and pair people. It was my first time using tuple. I never used tuple before.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah. Which that was
I do love tuple.
Pretty good. Smooth
Tuple's
process. Great. Yeah. I see why people like that. It's like kind of unobtrusive, and it's cool how you can just like be on the other person's screen. There's not like a whole separate step of like, well, let me take control and all that stuff. It's just
it's so performant.
All works. Yeah. I mean, it was great. Some part of my slowness, it still is too slow even after I fixed this, but I did discover after the call that I had Xdebug on, which I never realized that Xdebug slowed your app down on this level. But it was
don't know how to turn on Xdebug, don't know how to turn off Xdebug, don't know how to use Xdebug. Xdebug is the worst piece of our system for sure.
Very bad, yeah. So I was only using it, I think for like stuff Pest does with it, but it's like whatever. I'm not using that much, so it's fine. I just turned it off, and that did speed up everything a fair amount. But still, it still was like at the like 600 milliseconds or whatever.
Just in rendering, 600 milliseconds. Yeah, that's no good.
That's no good. And then so I did. We talked about some other optimization stuff, so I went and did some of that. I got it down to like it's like 150 now, and this is before the changes that Caleb's going to make. The other big thing. This little advice for the people out there is when you use like the Flux icons, like each one of those is a component. So I think then there's some weird stuff where the icons are hard to purify. So one of the optimizations I did was like I had a few icons that are on every kind of card on the board. And just like put that raw SVG in for those with like an if, and now like I eliminated 500, component renders or whatever. So there's some tricks like that you can just do to optimize. Sucks. Yeah. But overall, pretty excited. Very excited with the Laravel New. Let me tell you, let's do a Laravel New follow up.
No, I hate that this has gone well for you. This is
so well
reinforcing bad behavior.
So well. No, here's the thing. Sometimes things just take time, and nobody likes it to take time. Everybody wants to be on there on Twitter, being like, "Look, I built this thing in an hour."
I'm with you. I agree.
So sometimes the time is, you know what? I built a prototype. I don't like it for various reasons, and I'm gonna clean slate it. And it's literally if Outro is any kind of success, which who knows? But if it is, Laravel New is going to get a ton of the credit because what I built before is terrible. And so what I have now is so much better. And I'm not talking about forget the code. I'm talking about like the product, what it does, how it does it. So much better, and would have been impossible to like retrofit. It would have been. It's like a whole different concept. So much better. It is leaning me more into the like this is a tool, like a business heavy tool. So I think yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Like it was still gonna be a free version. So I think like I still want to have like it be for the people But I do think like then it'll be there might be like some more expensive options for, big podcasts that want to
Business
use it.
heavy tool as opposed to like trying to grow the membership community side of the thing. That
Right.
is
Like,
that the distinction you're making?
yeah, so I think there won't be any membership stuff in the beginning. I still think that there could be, but that won't be there to start. And so it'll be like, this is for like planning your podcast. And
Gotcha.
it's free for like, you have a small podcast, you don't make any money. Great. There's a free version. You should still use it and that'll be awesome. But if you are a more sophisticated podcast, I think that this will end up being something valuable for that. So, well, that's the hope. But anyway, I like so much better how it works.
When do we get an alpha?
It's gonna be a long time. You're not seeing this
Come
for a long
on.
time. It doesn't even really like I've only mostly been on like kind of UI-ish stuff. I don't even have the much of the like behind the scenes like business logic-y stuff yet. So it's going slow. It's slow going, but good things
Slow
come to
going.
those who wait. We do have
Oh,
the outro
wow, that
logo
is
is
true.
that I just came up with that.
Yeah, I invented meditation last week. You invented a millennia-old saying this week. That's
Yes,
awesome.
exactly. So this is the last week coming up of the logo work. So the logo's done. Focus
Lord.
Lab did a bunch of cool stuff for me, like some website ideas. We got swag ideas, we got sticker ideas, we got all kinds of stuff. So I got a lot of good, very professional looking
Speaking of
brand
carts and
assets.
horses, you got swag ideas.
Well, I'm kind of a little bummed because like literally like half the reason I spent a very large amount of money on this was like, oh, it'd be cool for the show, and we haven't even done anything without the show. But partially, it's their fault because they changed their process, and it's fine. I like the current process. But the old process was like multiple steps where you saw every iteration of like hundreds of ideas. And I was like, that'll be cool. Like, we'll come on here and I'll be like, here's like 30 ideas from the first session and all the different directions. And we could talk about that and whatever. But it was just like, here's 2 options. And which one do you want? And, if you hated both of them or
good
whatever.
content.
But it wasn't going to be, yeah. And then you were doing the vision quest and like, it just didn't work out. So now I'm not even going to bother showing you. We'll do that at a future date. But yeah, so that kind of blew up, but it is very good. I like the logo a lot. I like what they did a lot. Check out Focus Lab. If you have a budget for your brand, Focus Lab, they didn't pay me to say this. I paid them to say this for them on their behalf.
We call that a reverse sponsorship.
Yeah, reverse sponsorship. So anyway, really good stuff. I'm excited to get this out to the people at some point in the medium future. Yeah.
We'll just say future.
I do think it definitely won't be before like Wire Live. Oh,
No,
maybe
definitely
end of
not, because
November.
that's like 2 weeks away.
My first goal is to get us to use it, right? So like,
yes,
I think by end of November, I could get it in a state where like we could use just the kind of core, because we have very light use case as we just talked about. So put some things on the board. The thing is, once you have anybody using it, then I have to have migrations. I have to worry about the data that's in there, all that stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like,
I get it.
I hate that part of like, once it's live, it's like really locked in. So that's where I'm not the like build-in public guy of like, oh, I put it out there and I totally changed it. And I came up with some crazy migration, or I just tell you all your shit's gone, sorry, or whatever. Like, I like to know when I ship it, that's what it is. It is what it is. We're going to go with that. So
I can tell you what's going to happen at the end of November. The end of November, we're going to get on here and you're going to say, oh man, Thanksgiving is just, we had all the kids and it was crazy. And I got sick and Jamie had to,
sick, that.
Jamie had to do all the, the food by herself because I was sick and the kids were here. And so I'm shooting end of the year. End of the year is that's what I'm shooting for.
I should just say the end of the year. End of the year is definitely more likely. But I think to get us in there, it's possible before that.
Yeah.
I don't
How
think
about this?
Other people are going to be in before the end of the year.
How about this? How about I'm okay if you blow away all of our data?
I understand that. I
so get us in there as soon as you want with the escape valve that if you blow away all of our data, I'm okay with that.
That's true. I mean, we technically pretty much blow away all of our data.
We blow it away every week.
So
yeah.
we don't really keep any data anyway. So yes, I am aware of that. So I don't know. I just like it to be ready. I'm old school, man. I like it to be done. I feel like
I get it.
I'm going to burn this software onto a floppy disk, right?
I know.
I'm going to ship it in a box, and there's no going back from that. So that's still my mindset. Even though I did ship software in a sort of a box once a very long time ago, but not my own software. So anyway, Yeah, that's where we're at.
Well,
I agree with
I look
you.
forward to that day.
Laravel knew your stuff. People, you're out there, you got a half-finished side project. It's crap. You know it's crap. You know it's crap. That's the thing. You know, and you're not being honest with yourself. And just Laravel new, take a week, talk through what was bad about the old version with the AI, come up with a new plan. You'll be much happier.
Here's I will meet you in the middle.
Mm,
I'll meet you 25% of the way towards the middle.
okay.
If you have not shipped and you realize that your data model is fundamentally flawed,
Mm,
or you have decided that one portion of the software is now the entire part of the software, something like that, I'm okay with a Laravel new. In those situations, I'm okay with a Laravel new. I think
mhm.
the data model being fundamentally flawed, and that's a pretty high bar to be
That is high.
fundamentally flawed.
Right.
I think that necessitates a Laravel new. I am okay with that
Interesting.
because that is the foundation of all applications, is the data model. That is gonna bleed through every other decision that you will make. So
Yeah.
that is the situation I'm okay with.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Got to get the data model right. Now, I would say fundamentally flawed's pretty hard bar to clear because you can just
Yeah.
write new migrations, you
Right.
know?
Well, that's the thing.
So, but I will leave that as an exercise for the people.
See, I'm more of the data model to me is fixable generally. I'm also a believer kind of like the data model is always screwed. Like, because
In some
once,
way, it is.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
once you actually have users and you'd be like, oh, I never thought they'd do this thing.
Yep.
And I took this shortcut and put that in JSON because that's what we do now, right? And oh
Yep.
boy, that sucks that it's not in an actual column that's indexed and I can look up properly and all this. Like, you always end up with those things kind of.
Always a lossless or a lossy representation of reality.
Right.
There's
Yes,
always
that's
some
right.
reality you're trying to represent, and
Yep.
you can't do it perfect.
Yeah. So that's where it's like, but to me, then it's more like if the UI and sort of what you're trying to do doesn't feel right, to me, that's even harder than the data model because the data model is like very definitive. It's like, oh, I can make new tables. I could do like if you haven't shipped yet, I could just build all new stuff and like whatever. It'll be annoying. But now we even have AI, which can do a lot of that stuff actually pretty well. But the UI, the AI is terrible at. The AI is not good
It's terrible.
build out this UI anything other than like, yes, it can of course build you a CRUD UI that accomplishes the goal of shipping the data to the server, but it will not make you a product that is interesting and useful on the UI front right now, I don't think.
No chance.
So to me, that's the part where right now, anyway, the human is still bringing a lot to that. And if that's wrong, like every time I've tried to mess with the UI real time, like that's just ends up being like, oh, and everything's broken and you don't want to change this stuff because it's hard to change. So then you don't change it and whatever. I don't know. If you just feel it's a vibe thing, if your vibes are off, you just Laravel new, you start again.
No.
Start again.
Wrong.
All right. You know who started again with Laravel new?
Wow,
I don't know if they went. I don't know if
real professional, like unbelievable level of stuff here.
Laravel Forge. That's who. It's server management through access, but none of the cognitive overhead. One-click provisioning, zero downtime deployments. It's new. Automated SSL, and a bunch more. In the time I read this ad, you literally could have deployed a Laravel VPS. Yes, it's that fast. Forge.laravel.com. We all know Forge. We all love Forge. They've totally rebuilt the thing. I don't know if they actually Laravel nude, but it's pretty much rebuilt from the ground up. So I think we're going to talk about that actually a little more in a second, but check them out. Thanks a lot to Forge for sponsoring. And they have the new VPSs. I haven't used one yet. I'm very excited to use the new VPSs. Yeah, so it's going to be quite seamless now is my vibe from it. Very cool.
You know who has used the new VPSs?
Aaron Francis?
This guy.
Oh!
Let's talk. The ad is over. Now we're back to real life. Let's talk about Laravel.
Yes.
This is a segment. Let's talk about Laravel Forge.
Yes, do it.
The new Forge is very good.
Ooh, okay.
It is very good. One,
they are paying you to say that, but not at the same time. This is still your honest opinion.
Yes, they paid you to say that part earlier, of which I will get approximately half after expenses. Yes, but now this is a segment. It's very, very good. So the UI just a lot cleaner. No
Yeah.
offense to Taylor. It was 10 years ago he built this, and with
Mm.
Vue 1.0, it was a little long in the tooth.
Yep.
Now, crisp, clean,
It's sexy.
beautiful, fast, keyboard
Mm.
shortcuts for a lot of stuff, very sexy.
Yep.
That's fine. Like, that's cool. Love it. Super great. The thing that's really good is the new Laravel VPS. The Laravel
Mm.
VPSs
Okay.
are awesome. So for the dear listener who don't follow this as closely, Laravel VPS, and this was publicly stated at Laracon, is a first-party VPS solution, which under the hood is DigitalOcean, but Laravel is managing the like provisioning and VPC and like all of that stuff. And so what that allows them to do is Laravel has a pool of like pre-provisioned servers that have like PHP 8.4, Redis, MySQL, Nginx, Postgres, all like ready to go. And that historically is the part that takes up to 10 or 15 minutes because
Right.
you get this Ubuntu, you get this
Who
box.
knows?
Who
Yeah.
knows? You get this box, and then Forge runs all its scripts to set everything up in the correct way. That takes 10 to 15 minutes. On Laravel VPS, presumably they have a warm pool of that stuff ready to go. And so you can literally get a VPS that is like primed for Laravel in my experience, under like 15 seconds, which is crazy.
Wow.
Now, the
That's
sticker
awesome.
says a minute, so I don't want to, these are not
Don't
claims. I'm
promise it.
just
Yeah.
talking about my experience, but it's like 15 seconds to get
Wow.
a VPS like connected SSHable in. So
Mm.
one thing I was working on last week was the transcoding of all of these videos for database school.
Yep.
And I can do it here on the Mac Studio, and that works fine. But I'm really trying to like make it more production ready and hands off. So I still use the Mac Studio for a ton of stuff, but for this, I wanted to use like something where I could just upload the videos in a web browser admin panel and then just like be done with it.
Yeah.
And so I have a web server that is a Laravel VPS, and now I am auto scaling. I'm auto scaling Laravel VPS boxes to burn through all of these videos with FFmpeg.
Interesting.
And so I'm spinning up these huge, like, 32 gigs of RAM, 8
Right.
vCPUs or CPUs or whatever. I don't know the real size of them, but they're huge. And then they like burn through this Laravel queue of videos running FFmpeg on all of them and then uploading them to Cloudflare. And then the machines just die away. So the machines are like, $300 a month for this massive beefy one, and I run it for like 20 minutes. And then I
Right.
turn it off, and it's great. And the Forge API allows me to orchestrate all of this like seamlessly.
Mm.
So huge win here. So this would be similar, I think, to something you could get on Laravel Cloud, except the cost is a little bit different, and you have more control over the server. So like
Right.
I put FFmpeg on the server, I put WireGuard on the server, and so it just makes life a little easier because it's an actual server that you control. Laravel VPS, it's awesome, and you don't have to like it's all within your Forge account, right? So
Yeah.
you're not like logging into DigitalOcean and getting API keys and then going over there to
Hate
check
that.
everything. Yeah, it's just like, hey, I'm a Forge user. Give me a box. And they're like, great, we'll
Yep.
take care of it. So highly recommended. And this auto scaling thing, very cool.
Yeah. See, this is like an interesting use case where like Forge is still so important because, like, I'm sure there's probably some way to make Cloud do this, or I don't even know if it has FFmpeg, right? But let's just say it does. It's still to me like conceptually a little different than like I just want to the use case for cloud to me is like, yeah, I'm hosting a web app and it's going to scale if I have a bunch of demand. It's going to go down, but you just have a bunch of data to grind through, right? Like this is just
Exactly.
a data grinding thing. Like that's just great. Like just have a single server that sits out there. This doesn't need load balancing. This doesn't
No.
need anything. This is just I just need a bunch of horsepower for 20 minutes every couple days to do some stuff and then be done with it, right? And so
Exactly.
seems perfect for that. And now, are these finished videos or these are your raw videos?
These are so the process that we or I use is I have the finished video, like the final cut. And then what has to happen is because I'm not hosting them on Vimeo. I have to transcode them all myself. And this is what we've done for all of our courses, and it makes it extremely cost efficient. So, we can serve terabytes of video for mere pennies, literally. And so the part of the process, though, is I have to transcode it uh, and slice it up into HLS, which is, hundreds of little chunks of video.
Okay.
And so I have to get it into, I think, like 4 or 5 different resolutions. So I have to do like 2160, 1080, 720, and maybe down to 460 or whatever, 480, I don't know. But then also chunk it up into like 3 to 5 second chunks, because that's how HLS works.
Interesting. I
And
didn't
then
even
I
know
do
about this. That's
yeah, and then
cool.
I do another, like I strip out the audio into a separate MP3 file so that I can send that off to 11 labs to be transcribed. And then I randomly choose a frame to be like a thumbnail. And so there's a lot of post processing that has to happen from I have this, 4 gigabyte finalized video to you can consume this on your phone over a mobile network. So that's
All right.
kind of the process that has to happen in between the two things.
So are you doing the editing? Who's editing these videos?
So yeah, that's a great question, Ian.
Okay. I feel like the audience we're missing something here. We're missing a step. Okay.
Right now, so the videos that I just burned through, those are all the MySQL for Developers videos. So Planet Scale gave those back to
Oh,
me.
okay.
I logged into Vimeo. I downloaded them all. I stripped
Gotcha.
off the Planet Scale logo at the beginning,
Yep.
and then I uploaded them to be transcoded.
Yep.
For the Database School podcast, which we have had 2 conversations now about this editor that just
Right.
brutally let me down.
Yeah.
He's gone. And
Yeah.
I am actually using the editor from the Code Rabbit video,
Okay.
who Steve put me in touch with. So I called Steve after this guy let me down, and I was like, dude, who else do we got?
Yeah.
He doesn't work with me.
Right.
I was like,
Sure.
who else do we have? Meaning, who else do you have that you can recommend
Right.
to me? And he's like, oh, the guy that did our Code Rabbit video. And of course, I had met him because he actually shot the video as well as edited it. And so he is doing the Database School podcast. And then we have had a guy historically that did our course editing, and I will probably use him again for the course editing. So I'll have, hopefully 2 editors that I'm at least familiar with that I can use moving forward. So the hope was that this YouTube guy that I tried to work with was going to be more of a holistic, like, let's grow the channel kind of
Right.
guy. And these other 2 probably could do that, but they build themselves as editors. And so I'm
Right.
just going to go use them. And if I want to find a YouTube growth strategist, I'll address that separately later.
Makes sense. And are you going to be doing stuff in these future courses that are like more editing heavy, or you think you're going to adjust that a little bit since now it's just you? Because I think in some of your other ones, there's more like post-production stuff going on.
Yeah. I will be doing less motion graphics stuff, because that's one thing that Steve is very, very good at, is motion graphics. And it also takes an incredibly long amount of time.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was one thing that was like a real competitive advantage, was Steve could do this stuff. He has good taste. He's good with motion graphics, and he can do it pretty quickly, but it still takes forever.
Right.
I can't get up to speed on that. It's just not worth, like, it's not a good
You're not
investment
gonna,
of my time.
right. No.
And so I do have an analog solution for that, which will be revealed later this week. So yes. So on Wednesday, I am announcing the next Database School course, which is Intro to Postgres. But
Right.
I'll be announcing it with I'll be revealing who the sponsor is for that, and then also revealing my solution for motion graphics, lack of motion graphics. And as a teaser, it's a brand new set. So we have, like, I'll continue to have this set in here. Like, I'm not going to tear this down. But out there in the living room, I've built an entirely new set that I'm going to be using for Database School. Yep.
Yeah.
It is, like,
Look at this
fundamentally
guy
different.
secrets.
Yep.
Okay.
So that will be revealed in the fullness of time. Actually, it'll be revealed on Wednesday. So
we're
way
gonna go
before
around
then.
the corner and see what's behind the curtain.
Exactly. Yep. So been doing a lot of work on that out there. I've got got a couple of cameras and a bunch of cables and some lights, and then the set, which is
I
gonna
like
be
that stuff.
a fun reveal.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we're breaking news on the show
Yeah,
today.
I know. Gotta get the people excited for Wednesday.
All right. So Laravel Forge, use it. You approve. It's all
I
good. I'm
approve.
gonna get in there probably this week. And I mean, I love that I don't ever have to go in there. See, like this is all
I know.
connected to me. It's like I don't have to go in there because everything just runs and it's all fine. Like that's great. Okay. This week is a big week. Then we got the new course coming out.
Yep.
Or being
Announcing the new
announced.
course. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't be released for maybe 2 more weeks.
Okay. So we got that happening. All right. It's this new Aaron Francis, who's not distracted by the internet, has arrived just in time, I would say.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
No
to
freaking
do.
kidding. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
say.
It's a lot going on. All right. So we got one more item here.
We do.
It looks tricky. It looks like painful, if I had to guess.
It is the opposite.
Oh, I love
painful.
it.
It is a great delight. It is
wow.
joy. It is a highlight of my life. The card merely says handyman. That's all the card says.
Just means a world of pain right there. Usually it means a world of pain.
Usually means a world of pain.
I've never had one. I've tried to get one. I can't. It's impossible. I can't find one.
We found one. We found a handyman. Okay,
That's
so
unbelievable.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's a little I don't want to say emasculating, but like it's a little bit like inviting a man into your house to fix things for you, right?
Yeah.
It's not
you can't handle.
It's not super great, but listen, I'm over it. I'm completely over it. So we got this guy. Okay, so let's run down just a few of the
what do you got going on?
tasks,
What's going on at the house? I assume you're not going to have him like dig a basement garage or anything like that.
No. I'll still do that.
Yeah.
No, it's like, hey, can we hang these pictures in the kids' rooms that we haven't hung in the past 6 months, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean for me? Okay, well, I come home from work and then I'm, spend time with the kids and then put them to bed. Okay, well, now they're in their room. Can't do it then.
Yeah.
The weekend, I wake up the kids. I'm literally with the kids all day long. Put the kids down for nap. Okay, well, the kids are in their room. Right. And then there's no hey, babe, why don't you take the kids? I'll get some stuff done around the house. We have 4 kids, 4 and under.
Nobody wants to leave the house.
Jennifer's not going to take all 4 kids, and I wouldn't make her do that, right? So it's like hanging pictures, fixing the pull-out trash can rails are all wonky, so you can't pull the trash can all the way out, so you just get furious all the time.
Didn't you just build this kitchen?
Yes! And then the toilet is running, so you got to jiggle the handle all the time. Toilet's running.
Yes.
We got to disassemble cribs from downstairs and move them upstairs and reassemble them.
Okay.
So it's stuff like this where it's like I am capable of doing it. I can do it. It's a function of time, right? I don't have 2 hours on a Saturday. Right. I don't. And so all of these things, and the honey-do list, it just piles up. It's just like, hey, can we do this? Can we check on this? I need to do that. This thing is making a weird noise.
This is real low level stuff. This isn't we gotta replace this broken pane of glass, or we have to paint this room.
No,
this is all real. This is very lightweight. I'm enjoying this. This is you should be doing this. People are gonna comment that you should be doing these things.
I know.
I'm excited that you're not doing these things. Very good.
I know. It is awesome. It's all of these little things, and then before you know it, there's 14 little things on the list, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, we need to mount the camera. We need to mount the baby monitors in their new room in a different place, and then run the cables down. And and when the babies are awake, I'm with them. When they're asleep, they're in the room. And so we found this guy. Okay.
Where'd you find him?
We found Mr. Kevin.
Mr. Great handyman name.
Mr. Kevin. Yeah. Probably, I want to say 50, 55. From New Zealand, so he's got a great accent.
That's great, right there. How get a New Zealander? What the hell?
I don't know. I think he lives in our neighborhood. Okay. I think his wife works some big doctor, lawyer, or something. He's got a couple of kids himself who are a little bit older, and he is just the nicest, most gentle, just most
This
helpful
guy.
man in the world. And so he comes over. So my wife will text him. He'll come over. He has his little, his
Got a
tool
little
carrier.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he came over the kids didn't have school on Friday. He came over on Friday, and I get these pictures of our 2 4-year-olds just sitting on the floor, eating snack, watching Mr. Kevin install baby monitor. And they're just like,
Beautiful.
what are you doing? How are you doing? What's that? Can you show me your drill? They just love Mr. Kevin. Mr. Kevin is so nice to them.
Yeah.
And he just fixes everything. It's like, I don't know, it's like $50 an hour, and he gets like 8 things done in an hour. And then I come home, and it's not like, oh shoot, I gotta hang these pictures, I gotta fix this crib, I gotta hang these, all this stuff. Fantastic. And so for example, last night, Jennifer said, hey, the dryer is saying that the vent is 80% clogged. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Sounds like a fire hazard to me. Yeah. And I had already, that one's not in the kids' room. So many, many weeks ago, I had already taken the freaking flexible hose off and cleaned it out. And I was like, I already did this. Like, I thought I already fixed this.
Right.
And so she took a picture and texted it to Mr. Kevin and said, like, hey, we call him Mr. Kevin too. Hey, who do I call about this? Because I think it's, we thought it was like up on the roof. That part was probably clogged, because I knew the flexible hose wasn't clogged.
Right.
And he was like, oh, I can come on Monday and clean that out. I have the tool to clean out the thing on the roof. And we're like, yes, Mr. Kevin. Because otherwise we would have to call a plumber, and he'd charge us, $300, $400 to get up on the roof and use this tool. And now it's just Mr. Kevin comes over and charges us $50 an hour, and he's going to fix everything. It's great. One time I get a text at work. I get a text at work one time. Hey babe, the sink in the guest bathroom is leaking and there's water all over the floor. And I'm like,
oh, that's the text you don't want.
Oh, there goes $500. And I was like, well,
2 days.
Yes, just, call a plumber, but first just text a picture to Mr. Kevin and see if he can figure it out. And she texted me back like 10 minutes later and said, Mr. Kevin was around the corner and he fixed it. He came over and fixed it and didn't charge us.
What?
It was just a thing. It was just a thing. He had it all ready, and he just
or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Wow.
I will sing Mr. Kevin's praises till the end of time.
Dude, you gotta hold on to Mr.
The
Kevin.
Absolute best. I've already referred him to a few friends. Yeah.
No, don't do that. That's the first thing you shouldn't do.
We have to, because
keep
we
Mr. Kevin to yourself.
We want to be the ones where he's like, oh, I owe them a debt of gratitude.
I don't know. Mr. Kevin, he's gonna get this. I don't know. Maybe somebody else. I mean, he's a handyman. Maybe he can't be pulled away to such an extent that he would no longer be available. So I guess that's all right. Be careful.
It's awesome.
Wow.
Was
this like a help wanted ad? Did someone recommend him to you?
No, it's one of those moms groups on Facebook, our neighborhood mom group. Hey, does anyone have a handyman? And I think Jennifer saw, oh yeah, I use this guy. He's really nice. And I think she just poached him. Isn't that great?
I wonder how much he charged to come up to my house for 2 days. I'll fly him
and just fix it all.
Yeah, just fix it all.
You have a list. You have a list.
Of course. Jamie's got a list 8 miles long.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And we also end up now we've defaulted to just paying the right person to do it.
Yes, I know.
Right, which is a disaster, because it's well, yes, the plumber comes and they want $200 just show up, and then they gotta whatever, then they disappear for 2 hours and they buy parts or whatever they say they're doing, and then they come back. We had a whatever. Every year, our air conditioning unit goes out, or there's some type of electrical issue, and every year it's because the mice are living in it. Why they build air conditioning units that have holes for mice to live in it, I don't know. I don't understand, but that's what they do, and there's no fixing it. So anyway, it turns out whatever. So we call the AC guys. They're like, we can't even fix this. There's no hope. Whatever. So you got to call the exterminator. Blah blah blah. All this stuff. Fine. But the point is, we had to call all these actual professionals, and I feel like this is not an actual professional situation.
Mr.
Right?
Kevin would have fixed that in an hour.
Yes, Mr. Kevin would have cleared out the mice and laid some poison, and we'd be all set.
And he would have entertained your kids with his genteel attitude and his accent. It would have been perfect.
I'm not joking. I want Mr. Kevin. I'm going to put him up in a nice hotel. He's going to get a little vacation. It's fall. Get the leaves changing, all the stuff. Mr. Kevin, 3-4
He's
days in New York.
the sweetest man in the world. He's got his head full of gray hair, his little glasses. He's got a shirt that says, Clark Handyman. I think his name is Mr. Kevin Clark. He's got a polo shirt and he's got his tool bag. It's like if Mr. Rogers invented a handyman, it's Mr. Kevin.
This is like the best thing you've ever told me about Dallas. So far, this is like the number one reason to move to Dallas.
It's great. Mr. Kevin's here.
Kevin. Yeah, Mr. Kevin's there.
Yep.
Man, all right. So I got to find a handyman.
You got to find a handyman.
This sounds amazing.
It's amazing.
I always knew it would be amazing, but like then having this firsthand account, this is just, you just need There's so many things.
You save up 3 or 4 tasks and then you text Mr. Kevin and he comes over and he knocks them all out in an hour. You pay $50 and you get your Saturday back. Because listen, it would take you 4 or 5 hours to do what Mr. Kevin can do in an hour. Yeah. For sure.
Plus, I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to be like, I need to buy tools. I need to go to Lowe's and buy some stuff.
You're going to become furious that you don't have all the things you need.
Have the exact right thing. Yep. Yeah, get the exact right thing. Yeah. Okay. Handyman. This is going on the list. Yeah.
Get a handyman.
This is a life hack.
Yes.
And usually life hacks are expensive, but this is actually saving you money off the practical alternative, which is hiring a plumber to do the thing that is just turning this thing tighter or whatever.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. So life changing.
All right. Good advice. Get a handyman out there.
Get a handyman.
There's websites for, I don't know, for some reason I never trusted like the Angie's List or whatever. I don't know.
No, I don't trust that.
Right?
Anybody good's not on Angie's List. Mr. Kevin doesn't need Angie's List. See?
Yeah.
That's the
He's got word of mouth.
He's got word of mouth. Yep.
It's like all the best people are already taken. It's like all that same thing.
Yep.
If you got time to be on Angie's List, you're probably not that good. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Damn it.
I gotta find a way to share a picture with the audience of my kids watching Mr. Kevin work, because it is the most adorable thing.
I love that.
It is so pure. And apparently Mr. Kevin was marking on the wall where the frames should go. He's like measuring and lining up, and he with a little pencil put an X. And my daughter said, "You're not allowed to write on the wall. We're not supposed to write on the wall. You can only write on paper." And Mr. Kevin was like, "Oh, that is very true. But I'm a grown up, and I will erase it." And so it's just he's just the best ever. He's so sweet.
Oh my goodness!
Y'all go find your own Mr. Kevin. Preferably from New Zealand, because the kids love the accent. So I assume Australia or South Africa would work as well, because accents are pretty good there.
Similar.
As well.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta pay the $100,000 for a B visa thing to get my own Mr. Kevin in from New Zealand.
Gonna get an H-1B for a handyman just because their accent's cool.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's the only way it's gonna get done. We're gonna do it, and then we start a little business around this guy. And, we ship him out, but we charge $300 an hour, but he's the best.
He's the best.
That's what we do. And it's New York. It's not Texas, it's New York.
That's right.
So I think we can get away with it.
Yep.
All right. That's what's happening next week. It's happening.
There you go. Life changing.
All right, everybody. There you go. Hire a handyman. Better than hiring a handyman. Sponsor the show. Go check that out at mostlytechnical.com.
Somebody's got to pay for these handymen.
Yes, these handymen. I mean, granted, one ad does pay for 20 hours of Mr. Kevin.
Yep.
So
it's pretty crazy.
But still, 10 hours for you, but still 10 hours of Mr. Kevin. But so help us out. Help Aaron's handyman. Sponsor the show. And check out the old episodes up there, mostlytechnical.com. And we'll see you next week. Talk to you later.
See ya.